Hello and welcome to JS's Do's and Don'ts. My name is Jens and this is the new Form 2. It's not that new. I unpacked it, very simple, good packaging like to be expected from Formlabs. Now there's a new feature and you can tell already. It has legs that can be adjusted. Well, here you can see where I wiped it off. So they came right out of the box like this, and here are gouges right there. 1, 2, 3 gouges. No big deal, of course, as long as the machine functions properly. A brand new product you expect to be in perfect. One more thing, this is all they sent you. A quick guide, which is a little scuffed up right here. Interesting. A quick guide and safety instructions. You're gonna blow your house up with this thing. That's it for now. I'll set it up. We'll run this machine through some thorough testing, and I will give you guys the results. To that, it's very important for this machine to be level. Now you can't use these edges of the case. I don't have my small level here, but I did at the beginning. I leveled these edges. To level it, you have to use the built-in level. So that means the housing is not level with the internal level or with the tank. It's necessary because the squeegee will push the resin all the way to the edge, and you can see when you watch it, it goes close to the edge, to the upper edge, very close to it. I don't know, a few millimeters below. If the machine is just tilted a little bit that way, it'll push it right over the edge. Same on the other side, even though the left side is the favored side because the squeegee is on the right side, so obviously the mass of material will pull up on the left side first. So that's why it's necessary to level the machine, and you can't run it without it being level. I just unpacked the platform, the building platform, and I instantly see this new platform is much better than the old one. I don't know how they attached it. I have to take it apart to see. Another nice feature is that little handle for cleaning. That's a nice idea. This mechanism right here on my Form 1 Plus, that's plastic piece snapped off. Let me see, I have a flashlight here. Okay. Looks like it's built very similarly. We'll see. Alright, I have pushed the machine through its paces for the last 2-3 months almost, hammering through 2 solid liters of resin almost every day that the machine was running. And I will share the results in this video. All improvements that they have made to this machine were worthwhile. Very much necessary to encase the optical path, and they did that. The optical path is covered nicely, it's sealed off. I have a short video on that, what I don't like about that, but it doesn't really have to do anything with it being sealed off. It's a necessity. essentially the base technology is still the same. You have two surfaces meet, and in between those two surfaces the curing process is happening. And once the first layer is cured, you have now three surfaces that meet. And you have on the top surface the resin pulls away, on the bottom it pulls away, so you have two areas where there's a potential failure built in because of that technology. The key to being successful with this kind of technology, and you got to know from the very beginning before you start, is keeping your parts cross-section as small as possible. So the tank isn't tilting away anymore, it shifts from side to side, and also so we have this little squeegee going across the whole surface and making sure, should there be any debris inside the tank, that is pushed out of the way and you have a clean build. I've seen some people on the forums that were not complaining but suggesting having a preheat button that you can control the heating action before you start the machine, because of the time it takes for the machine to preheat. And that was the first thing I noticed as well, thinking, oh, if I pour in the resin in the old machine, just pour in the resin, hit go and the machine goes. It can take up to 20-30 minutes. Here where I'm living, especially in wintertime, summertime is the opposite. I can't run the machine because we got 90 degrees inside the house. But so this is another problem right there. Cooling down the resin to the temperature would be another feature. Okay, so now the temperature should be about 31 degrees, 35 degrees. Operating temperature, the goal is to get it up to 35 degrees Celsius. It's 32. So 3. No, it's fairly consistent. The tank's longevity, which Formlabs claims has improved, hasn't improved. It's about the same. It's about the same to the Form 1 Plus. The difference here is you definitely don't have as many failures with this machine as compared to the Form 1 Plus. So that helps keeping the life cycle a little longer for a tank like this. But it still uses up the same, it burns through the layer just the same. The resin cartridge is a nice feature. I like that. I was used to controlling it with the bottle, and you always know how much is in there. With the resin tank, with the resin cartridge, you don't really know how much is in there. The machine will give you an alert. Just right now, it keeps telling me I have no resin in the cartridge, which is good, but you never know how much is left. I just had an error message saying missing cartridge. When I came back to check on the machine, it stopped completely with the error message. Unfortunately, I didn't get that on camera, but it said right here, missing cartridge. In the middle of the build, suddenly after it had been running for 25 hours or something like that. And that was a bit devastating, to say the least, seeing the model stuck and this kind of error message. Luckily, all I had to do was pull out the cartridge and put it back in, and it resumed the building process. The question is, what caused the machine to believe there was no cartridge in it? Then the machine stopped claiming there was no cartridge in it suddenly for no reason, and I reset the cartridge and it resumed, but it wasn't able, at least not on this side, to properly resume. The other side looks nice, this is pretty clean, but this side not. Chances are that, you know, maybe the tank is worn there a little more. So much for that. And again, this is 25 microns and as high as you can build. I mean, you can't build anything taller than this. I maxed out the height of the building area. Right here, stuck on the surface. Oh yeah, you can see real well. Right there. The machine off and on will offset your part. I don't know how well it's visible. Right here, you can see the line. The whole part is offset actually toward the camera right here. This is a geometry that's really easy to be built by the machine. Anything cylindrical, anything that is like that, and also if you look at the support structure, these lines right here, these cross members, they're 45-degree angles. So it's safe to say anything that has a 45-degree angle, the machine will be able to build on its own. You don't need support structure. So all this stuff around the part right here on the outside, all that support structure, all these guys here around there, they're really needless. Needless to say, they're really not necessary. So if you take them off by hand, which I did, this is a geometry that's really easy to be built by the machine. Anything cylindrical, anything that is like that, and also if you look at the support structure, these lines right here, these cross members, they're 45-degree angles. So it's safe to say anything that has a 45-degree angle, the machine will be able to build on its own. You don't need support structure. So all this stuff around the part right here on the outside, all that support structure, all these guys here around there, they're really needless. Needless to say, they're really not necessary. So if you take them off by hand, now you see that the whole area, according to the calculation of the software, is going to collapse and will fail. Of course, logically, and knowing how the machine works, this is very simple for the machine to build. This cross-section, and it's a very small cross-section. That's 90 milliliters of material. And if you take the support structure off, you go down to 67 milliliters. And all this stuff is waste. You don't need to use that. And also don't have to clean it off. It is important to understand the machine, the way it works, what's easy to build for the machine, and how to control your support structure. So this is perfectly fine, despite the software telling you it's not. And here's the finished part. It looks flawless, perfect. I mean, no problem for the machine to build that without any support here. Not that anything that the software claims would collapsed. As a matter of fact, that came out real nicely. All these long sides right here. But where it failed, and I didn't see it, and the software didn't show me, is right here on these overhangs. There's no support right here on this overhang. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful, and see you next time.